I think of all the members of SB19, it's Josh that constantly surprises me. Not, and I have to say that it is because in the beginning, in the early years of SB19, from where I am, I'm not sure if I'm correct, but from where I am, he was the most criticized of the members. I heard people say that he isn't a singer, which he wasn't in the beginning, that he wasn't creative, that he had no vision, no talent, and that he was just there for the ride. And then they started releasing solo songs, and he turned out to be one of the most prolific in the industry. So I felt like from then on, I just surrendered myself to the fact that Josh is just going to constantly surprise me. And Silent Cries and No Control was no different when he released these two songs. Number one, he didn't rap, but I'm jumping the gun. Okay. So this is not your regular reaction because I've already seen the two music videos. I'm just going to share with you my thoughts. If you ended up liking this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification button. On to the video. This felt like him collecting himself, the pieces of himself from his past, and then finally sealing his past so that he can move on to the future. I don't mean to be poetic, but this is just really how I felt. I don't know much about his story. I know that he never met his father and that he had a very rough start of his life. But anything beyond that, nothing really. But it did feel like this is actually autobiographical and this is more himself sort of going back. Like Silent Christ was him going back to his childhood and collecting the pieces of himself he left behind and then finally sealing it. um, there are some hints in the lyrics, especially in No Control, I guess, where he was talking about why are they hating me? I just wanted them to, I wanted to make them happy and stuff like that. So I guess yeah, that gave me clue that this is really a more autobiographical than anything else. But more than that, more than just him telling the story, it did feel like he was getting back the parts of himself he lost to his past and sealing that so that he can finally move on to the future. I think the opening sequences of Silent Cries was absolutely brilliant. And it's not just because it was a playful treatment, but more because it was able to communicate three different aspects of an artist. I don't know if any one of you has already performed live before an audience, but you know how much adrenaline and energy you have because of the excitement and the buildup of being able to perform in front of the crowd. That opening sequence actually captured that, but it also captured the other side of it, the uglier side of it, which is the panic attack. How you can feel so suffocated and so insecure, even though hundreds, thousands of people are there to watch you, and even though you're popular and you have all of this achievement. But the way that they were able to intercut between the chaos of the stage, the energy that he exerts during the promotion, and then back to him alone in his solitude, that the intercut of those two sequences actually cap- allowed them to communicate the good and the ugly part of being an artist and performing before an audience. So I think it's one of the best I've ever seen, not just in the Philippines, but globally. This actually has a very intelligent cinematography. If you watch a lot of our of Philippine movies or Philippine TV shows, one of the reasons they look boring is the lack of camera movements and the lack of point of views of cameras. So usually it's just locked in. Like if two people are conversing, the camera is in one angle and you're just watching them talk back and forth. Or if there is a fight, then the camera will lock in one place and then they're just fighting. Not all, but it's very rare when you will actually see the camera take the point of view of a punch or take the point of view of somebody's face getting punched or something like that. Here, they actually followed. There were many there were many scenes where the camera became the point of view. So for example, of the thing that is moving, for example, there was this one part where Josh, I think, he either threw a water bottle maybe, or he extended his hand and the camera panned from him to where he was actually pointing at, or maybe he was splashing water on someone or something like that. And then there's another scene, I think it was still in Silent Christ, where he dropped a pencil, and the camera followed the pencil instead of locking to him. So those little details actually emphasizes the emotion. It takes you there, like you as an audience, it takes you there, because you're not just locked in Josh, you're actually following the movement of his thoughts by through the camera, following the movement of his body. I hope I made sense. So I think in that sense it is a way more advanced cinematography, definitely more advanced than our traditional cinema. I'm not saying that all of our movies are boring that way, but many of our movies are just, I don't know, like they're lazy. The camera is just always locked in. I wish that many other music videos will follow TV shows and movies this kind of cinematography. I remember watching this interview, but I can't quite remember who the celebrity was, but he was talking about how people never actually fulfill their dreams, because most of the time, once we start dreaming about something, we form an idea of the life that we're going to live once we get that dream. We never quite get the actual life that it will require until we actually live it. And most of the time, there is as much, if not more, sacrifices entailed for you to be able to achieve that kind of life. So for you to get that dream. So, for example, if you want, for most of the time, we want to be, for example, we want to become a popular singer. We never quite really imagine the amount of hard work you need to put in to get to that point. The sleepless nights, the um the compromises that you have to make you with your music so that you can get support from your label, the loss of privacy, the price of fame, the price of money. We don't think about all of these things until we're actually living it. And I think Josh perfectly communicated that here, but with a different spin, because we see him glamorous, successful at the opening of Silent Christ, and then at the back of it you see him in his solitude, still stuck in this past that he had to set himself free. So from where I'm standing, it felt like, yeah, you're this popular, successful, with all the money you can ever spend kind of guy. But you, just like us, you have a baggage that you need to deal with. So I don't know if that was intentional, but that's how it landed. And I thought that was beautiful, the way that he sort of deconstructed the pain and the fame that he experiences. I know that he is the creative director for both music videos, and that means he had control over almost anything in the conceptualization and creation and execution of both. And I thought the way that he utilized symbolisms, I think that was absolutely brilliant. There were so many things there that were easy to miss, but if you pay attention to it, actually completes the story. And it actually reinforced my initial impression that this is actually more him collecting parts of or pieces of himself he left behind before he closes his past. Like there were simple things like him closing the gate, going to a place and it's open where he could easily enter, but he chooses to close the gate. And I thought that was definitely him leaving the past behind. Like that's his closure. There was him taking off the jewelries, which felt like he is free from whatever it is that he's pretending to be. He's free from those pretenses, the mask that he had to put on just to look better. Like he's done with it because he has released himself from it. I like that part in No Control, when in the beginning someone was trying to cover his mouth, trying to keep him from talking, from being himself, from expressing himself. The only thing I'm wondering about, and maybe is that is there like, did he choose these locations because it actually represented some like a significant part of himself? As I've said, I know a little bit about his story, but not the entirety of it. So if you know, please share it. I think for somebody who's supposedly not a singer, he absolutely devoured in both of these songs. I haven't listened to the full album yet. I've just listened to these two songs. Well, I've watched the music videos. But I think it isn't just about, he definitely improved as a vocalist. I know that in the early days he was saying that he's not really a singer, he's really a rapper. But I think it is super, I don't know if he's taking lessons or whatever, but I think more than just learning how to sing, it's actually him finding the right placement for his voice. Like he knew where he should be as a vocalist in order to not, I mean, I don't think he's going to be belting like Stell, but he found that sweet spot where he could just be himself, sing, and still be able to express the emotions needed in the song and not miss the resonance, how good the resonance is of his voice. So kudos to him. I don't know what he did. Did he take voice lessons? I'm wondering. But I think that's one of the things that really surprised me when I first watched the two music videos. I was like, he didn't rap in either. He just sang and he devoured, absolutely devoured. A lot of 18s actually told me that, oh, hey, Josh finally released his own album, you have to react to it and stuff. But actually, after I watched these two music videos, it actually felt like this is the beginning. It is actually him telling us this is the beginning instead of a conclusion or a completion or something. I don't know why. Maybe it felt that way because both music videos dealt with him reconciling with himself because of what happened to him in the past, or forgiving other people and himself, that for his past that subjected him to so much hardship. But definitely it felt more like a rant, not really a rant, but him dumping his baggage so that he could be lighter and finally move on to the next phase of his career as an artist. That actually leads me to my last point. I feel like Josh is creating his own artistic landscape primarily because I really don't know if there's any other singer who's doing it the way that he is doing it. A lot of his a lot of his songs are so personal that it is becoming so cerebral. I know it's a little confusing. It's just that a lot of pop songs, especially if you are signed under a label, one of the things that they usually ask their singers to do is to spin the song so that it is relatable to more people. Because if a song is too personal to you, then it will be so unique that people won't be able to sing your song because they won't relate to it. But he has gotten away with it. Like a lot of the songs that he has written, they're very, very personal, that when you're listening to it, you're really just witnessing his story. I don't think there's like another artist that have gone away with with that kind of style. Second is that he really has found a very, very sweet vocal spot. As I've said, I don't think he's going to be an Estelle that can belt it out that high, but he has found a sweet vocal spot so natural to him that it's actually very hard to even accuse him of not being a singer. So, but more than that, I think it's his ability to translate his story to a really beautiful melody, a beautiful song basically that will really stand out. And I really hope that it's going to inspire other artists to start actually looking into their own story when they are creating a song, instead of just picking something that someone else wrote and then singing it. I hope that it inspires more artists to dig a little deeper when they are writing or releasing a song. Um, I think it's about time. It's about time that we do more of that, instead of just generic poetry that everybody can relate to, but no one, uh, that everybody find beautiful, but no one can personally relate to. As I've said in the beginning, it's Josh is the one member of SB19 that constantly surprises me with just how he's pushing the envelope and expressing himself and stretching his artistic ability. And I'm here for more. So I hope that he releases more songs. Would love to hear your thoughts. Please leave them in the comment section. If you ended up liking this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification button. And of course, share the video if you can. Also, follow me on Patreon. Follow me on X or on Twitter, and also on Instagram. I'll start uploading more content there. And if you have anything that you want me to discuss, let me know. Any video you want me to react to, more than happy to be of service. Thank you.